Hello, it's Sonia from Sustain My Craft Habit. Today I'm going to show you something really cool. I'm loving how you can engrave rocks with the xTool P2, and I'm going to show you how. To prep the rock before engraving, find it helpful to supply a sealer to the rock, and that way it'll prevent any paint from bleeding later on when you do that final step. Okay, so I'm going to engrave this rock. You can see this is a pretty nice size rock, and it's smooth, light gray in color. So the thing with engraving these rocks is that if I was to engrave directly on here, you really wouldn't see it very well. It's all kind of uniform in color. You would know that it's engraved, it wouldn't really pop. So I'm gonna first cover my rock with some painter's tape and then engrave directly on top of that instead. So this is the area that I want to have it engraved, somewhere on here, and I am going to now put it in my xTool. And I already have some sheets of basswood in here, or birchwood rather, just to kind of raise the surface. You could use anything, but this is just what I have on hand, and it's nice because you can kind of play around with the height. So you want to not have it too high, and you can't have it too low, or it's not going to have enough power to engrave the rock. So I've decided that this is pretty good. I just use this as a guide, so I want the surface of the rock higher than placement of the slats if they were to be installed into the machine. I think I'm pretty good with this height. So now I'm just going to position my rock here. So now that the rock is set in place, I'm going to import the graphic that I want to engrave on the rock, and this graphic is available for free at sustainmycrafthabit.com. One of the things I was most excited about with the xTool P2 is its ability to measure the curvature of a surface. To access this function, we're going to go to the curved material mode on the side panel. So what I want to do is mark the two corners of the engraving area. So right now this is too low. I want to actually go to the upper left corner of the rock. So I have to change the distance that the lasers is going to move to measure. So now I've changed it. Instead of 100 millimeters, it's just moving in 10 millimeter increments. So that's off the rock now, but that's okay because I'm going to go actually up to the top left corner. And just basically, I think that's too far over and maybe too far up. So that's pretty good, I think. I will mark that, I think. Or actually, I could probably move over to the left a little bit. So this is a, subjective. You're gonna just kind of play around with it. There we go. So now I'm gonna mark this first vertex. And now I'm going to move to the bottom right corner. And that's too far, so I'm going to go back up and now over. And that's probably pretty good too. So I'm going to mark that. I'm going to hit next. And I'm going to select the measurement density. I'm pretty good with what they've suggested, so I'm just going to say start measuring. And now you'll see that it's calculating the curvature of the rock using those points. And that's it, it's done. So now I'll be able to position my engraving on top of the rock. Now that the curve of the rock has been mapped out, I need to adjust the size of my graphic to fit inside that little rectangular shape on the screen. You can enlarge the screen with the zoom buttons so that you can position the graphic a little bit better within that rectangular space. If it does get too big, it won't let you actually engrave, and you'll be instructed to adjust the size further so that it does fit within that rectangular space. The final step is to ensure you have the processing type set to engrave. So with the graphic highlighted, select engrave and then choose your settings. I have it preset already as I did my tests, but for reference on our rocks, we choose 45% power at 20 millimeters per second, and 1 pass does the trick. You want to hit process to begin engraving.
If you're new to the xTool P2, we have a full unboxing and review video with some beginner projects, and I'll link that here. We also have a growing number of resources, including free SVG files and tips over at sustainmycrafthabit.com. These engraved rocks make cute gifts and keepsake items for the garden, or to use as paperweights, or just to have as decor.
Okay, so here it is. Before I peel off this tape, I am going to use some outdoor paint, and I'm going to paint in the part that's been engraved. I'll let that dry, and then I'll peel off the tape. One step before I start painting is that it does accumulate quite a bit of fine dust, so I would just first blow somewhere, maybe not on the machine, but you get the idea. I would just blow off and wipe away some of the excess. Don't get it wet, because that'll make the painter's tape come loose. But you just want to get rid of some of that dust before you go in and paint it. So to really up the contrast on our rocks, we are giving the engraved area a coat of black paint, which really pops with the gray sandstone rocks. You can use an outdoor exterior paint or even a spray paint with the painter's tape still on. Just give it a coat and let it dry. And once dry, peel away the painter's tape. Thank you so much for watching. We hope that you found this video of engraving rocks with the xTool P2 helpful and informative. If you have any questions at all, leave us a comment below. Let us know which phrase or graphic would you like to engrave onto a rock.